It's no secret that we have been paying outrageously for these designer luxury handbags when it only costs a fraction for them to manufacture the product. Here's the twist. Many of these products are made in China, then quietly shipped to France, Spain, and Italy for one final step, attaching a logo, adding a label, or boxing the item, and then selling it for a markup of thousands of dollars. A Louis Vuitton bag costs us $1,300. It only actually costs the company $170 to make that bag. And no wonder Louis Vuitton made $86.2 billion in 2023 alone. I'm sure you guys have seen all of the TikToks about the new US tariffs really making an impact on these Chinese factories and companies, and now they're coming forward and saying, hey, you guys have been supplying through us for so many years. We're working in sweatshops, we're making such petty wages. Designer brands are making the huge profits, and now they're saying that's not fair. You guys are gonna shut our businesses down. So now the Chinese are coming forward with this information, exposing the real truth about all of these luxury designer brands.
Recently, Chinese manufacturers have begun identifying themselves as the real creators of luxury goods.
Sold for $38,000, just cost only $1,295 to produce with same material quality, by listing all the luxury material used for crafting Birkin bag.
So I want to get into like the actual cost to make the product, and then how much do they actually sell it for to us consumers. This TikTok that I'm about to show you guys from this Leatherman claiming that he has taken apart his Louis Vuitton bag and has come up with the actual cost that it would take to actually make the bag with the same materials. So let's give it a watch.
Let me tell you why is it trash for the money I spent. Most often Louis Vuitton is associated with leather and luxury. And after waiting in the line for a while to buy this bag, the sales rep told me that the most common material they use in these bags we see all around is not even leather. They said it's coated canvas. What is that? And I realized it's a glorified plastic. And whatever little leather they use for the accents and the handle is mediocre at best. As a leather craftsman, after taking this bag to my workshop, I knew I didn't get what my $1,700 worth. I destroyed my new Louis Vuitton bag to understand the materials, the quality, and the labor involved. And here's what I found out. I calculated the cost breakdown of this bag. So the outside leathers would cost about $50 in my experience, and inner fabric lining would cost somewhere about $20, adding up to a $70 material cost for outside and inside materials. Accessories, the metal buckles, rings, and the zippers, I total up to be about $30. And the last piece is the craftsmanship, the labor side of it. It would cost me about $70 in labor.
This just annoys me so much because I look at how much money I've spent on luxury handbags and then come to find out that they were really like 1/10 of the price to actually make. Like, that's insane to me. And honestly, I am done buying designer items. Like, unless somebody wants to like gift me with them, that's one thing, but I am so done spending my hard-earned money on a product that actually costs 1/10, like a fraction to make. So for example, Hermes sells for $35,000 retail, okay? It only costs $1,250. That's right. That is like an insane markup of 23 times the original price. That is insane. Another brand we're all familiar with is Coach, for example. It costs $20 to make the Coach handbag, but yet we're buying them for about $300. Kate Spade, another one of my favorites, $20, retails for $300. Like, that's a 13% markup price. One of my favorites is Tory Burch, $25 to make a Tory Burch handbag, yet we are buying them for about $500. Marc Jacobs only cost them $30 to make a handbag. We're buying them for $800. Michael Jordan's only cost the manufacturer $16. So why are these designer luxury brands charging us so much money? They have to pay for the marketing, the distribution, and stores to pay the employees and whatnot. But like, What does that have to do with me? Like, I don't want to be paying that. Just make my own handbag. Louis Vuitton himself would be rolling over in his grave if he knew that his bags were now mass-produced, as he took pride on carefully inspecting each piece and ensuring customer satisfaction, not like today where we're seeing these assembly line major defects. So I want to get into the dark side of these luxury brands and how they actually treat their workers in these sweatshop-like environments. So Dior was actually investigated and placed on a 1-year administration.
Italy, where workers have been paid as little as 53 euros to make a Dior bag that sells for as much as 2,600 euros.
They found that they were using illegal immigrants who had absolutely no skills, had no work contract. They were sleeping in the factories, which suggested 24/7 manpower was being used. Safety on the machinery was being removed to make faster production. Dior was found negligent to check on the actual factory conditions. I feel like the target audience for people who love designer luxury handbags like myself were just brainwashed into thinking that this is what luxury and wealth actually is, when in reality, I'm kind of embarrassed now how much I paid for it. So China has clapped back, saying that the US manufacturing companies cannot do it as well as they can.
A viral AI-generated video mocking President Trump's push to bring manufacturing jobs back to the US. The video, created by TikTok user Ben Lau, depicts Americans as overweight, gloomy factory workers toiling in sweatshop-like conditions, all set to traditional Chinese music. And the clip, captioned "Make America Great Again," was designed to mock the Trump administration's tariff agenda and its promises to revive US manufacturing.
I feel like we've been brainwashed into thinking that anything that comes from China is bad and poor quality. Meanwhile, all these luxury brands that we've been buying have been outsourcing to China. 80% of it is made in China and only 20% of it gets finished in Europe, in Canada, in America with a stamp of approval. For example, Louis Vuitton opened up a factory in Texas, but it was one of the worst performing Louis Vuitton manufactories globally. It took the workers there a year to master the pocket in the never full handbag. They wasted 40% of leather hides. Several former employees even complained that it was a high pressure environment where supervisors would notice that they were making mistakes on the Louis Vuitton handbags and they would just turn a blind eye because they just wanted to push out as much product as possible. I want to get into another one of my favorite brands, and that is Lululemon. I feel like Lululemon has a crazy markup price. You're buying retail for about $157 for a pair of yoga pants when you can actually find them for about $5. So I did some digging on my own and I was looking at sites like Alibaba. Lululemon actually buys direct from sites like Alibaba and Chinese manufacturing plants for like $5 for bulk. Right? So Lululemon will buy 100 pairs of leggings at a really discount price. Then they'll mark them up in their stores here in North America. And it's crazy. It's insane what we're paying when we can just go directly onto these websites and buy directly from these manufacturers ourselves. SBLC Cosmetics in China actually sells to Sephora. We're paying hundreds of dollars for high-end makeup at Sephora when really it only costs the manufacturer a fraction of the price. It's insane. Watch this TikTok here. This makes me so angry that I've been wasting my hard-earned money just because they're slapping a logo on it. They're marking up the prices like tenfold. That's so not fair to us consumers. That is why the rich stay rich and the broke stay broke. They're trying to keep us down and dumb and keep consuming just to make the rich rich. And that's not fair. Like, I don't know whether to be mad at the brands or to be mad at myself for falling for this scam is what it is. I think about it in a totally different light now. Will I ever buy designer items again? No, I won't. I am so sick of paying designer prices at the markup that they sell them. Like, it is just so unfair to us as the consumers. And I hope that you guys really like this video today. If you found it eye-opening, then definitely give it a big thumbs up. My next video is going to be about how much we pay for beauty services here and how much cheaper they are in other countries and how we're just getting so so ripped off. So definitely stay tuned for that video. I will release that video shortly. So once again, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Definitely hit that subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.